I've lived here 30 years. I started paying rate utility bills before I moved here. Bought a house, turned on the power. I've been paying bills for 30 years. I'm friends with many of you on board, personal friends. What I say today is not a personal comment against any one individual. What I say today is my thoughts on collectively how things are being done within your board. I think that as a board, the ratepayers deserve the opportunity to hear and know what you're doing. Again, a meeting at 10:30 in the morning, work a man can't come. I worked for 29 years, I never got to come. People at work can't come to 10:30 in the morning meetings. I think the meeting should be at 9. I think all the meetings that you have should be in public. And all your deliberations should be in public. I think that as a former business owner and also as a public elected official on the school board, the transparency in what you do is what makes it possible for the people that you lead to trust you. Without transparency, nothing you do is going to be believable. If 99% of what you do is believable. My father always said, you spend a life building your reputation. You can ruin it in a split second.
Them power. And if
Right.
that's the case, this doesn't speak well of any of your character. And I want you to revisit this. I haven't known Glenn a long time myself. But I think that a lot of decisions should have been made before he was ever hired. And again, I beg you, please, revisit this and rethink it. Because now your character is being tested.
Our elected and appointed officials, we expect to do what is right in the eyes of the electorate and under the law. Then, if not, we have alternatives. One, the next election, we can vote out the people that were elected. Two, we can have a recall of those people that were elected and remove them from office. Or we can go to the courts and the administrative agencies of this country and enforce what is right.
You know, over half of you has made a statement to somebody that you didn't know that you signed off on the performance appraisal, but you didn't sign off on firing Mr. Glenn Ray. Now, whether that's true or not, I can't answer, but I have heard some of you personally say that more than one. But the figures I've got, more than half of you. Some of them was asked to fill out the performance appraisal, and you said that I don't know how to fill it out, or how could I fill it out, because I've not been around, I've not talked to anybody, I've not been to any of the supervisors, so how am I going to fill this out? How do I know what to put down? I've had a lot of people that's been big companies that's called, you know, once you're on the internet or once you're on worldwide communication, you think people now don't know about Cobb County? We got calls all the way from Texas yesterday. What's going on in Cobb County? People that used to live here, been here, want to know. But it's another black eye for Cobb County, you know.
You intend to take that job that's offered?
I have a job, let me be very clear, that I don't want this job. I'm not eligible for this job and never have intended to do this.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay, next question. Have you
Does that answer your question?
Pretty much.
Thank you.
If it's truthful. Now,
If it's truthful, okay, if we're gonna be separate little tolerance to listen to his accusation personally,
then leave the room. I have the floor.
I have the tape. I have
the floor.
Mr. Brandon.
You say it after I get through.
Mr. Brandon, you have 5 minutes to speak. Please, no more personal attacks.
Right to ask that.
I have the right to ask.
I've managed a lot of people in the thousands. There's been some very elegant speakers here, and they said some things like, it's nothing personal. I want to get on the record. It is personal with me. I don't like these people. I don't respect them. And I'm going to do everything I can to see to make sure they're gone, because they do not serve, in my opinion, this community's best interest. Thank you.
The Board of Newport Utilities held 2 publicly announced workshops to conduct a performance review of our former General Manager, Glenn Ray. Mr. Ray was aware of these workshops and chose not to attend or participate in his performance review.
It's not correct.
All board members contributed to and agreed with the results of the performance review as documented on the performance appraisal document. As chairman of the board, I was asked to meet with Mr. Ray to discuss the performance review. At that meeting on March the 31st, 2014, with Mr. Ray, which was attended by NU Human Resource Manager and myself, I discussed the performance review with Mr. Ray and gave him 2 options. He was given the option of having a public board meeting to discuss his performance review, at which time a decision would be made regarding his continued employment status. Alternatively, he was given the option of voluntarily resigning with a severance package to be offered. A special call board meeting was to be publicly announced that day and then held on April the 3rd, 2014, should Mr. Ray have chosen to have his performance review discussed in a public meeting. Instead, however, at the meeting on March 31st, 2014, Mr. Ray chose to voluntarily resign his position at Newport Utilities. Mr. Ray was not threatened or restrained in any way during that meeting and was not forced to resign. That was his voluntary choice. Thank you. Kindest regards, Kelly Campbell, Wimberley Law School.